Count on Merli is quite sweet. There's a lot of variety in this cartoon, but it's probably my least favourite of the Tom and Jerry Singapore series so far. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I just feel like it was lacking a bit of a spark. It's very much driven by the character of Merli, and while I didn't mind Merli, I can't exactly say I was particularly taken by the character either. This is the 5th episode of Tom and Jerry Singapore, also known as the Tom and Jerry 2023 series. Now, while I didn't particularly care for it as a story or as an animation, I do like the fact that it taught me about Merlions, which is what Merli is. I had never heard of Merlions before, and it turns out that they're actually, according to Wikipedia, they're mythical creatures with the head of a lion and the body of a fish. And I can see that. I didn't know that when I was watching it, and I was thinking it was some kind of cat mermaid, so I was kind of getting what it was, but not quite. And it's apparently, again, according to Wikipedia, it is of prominent symbolic nature to Singapore. So I like that. I like that it taught me what a Merlion is. It doesn't mean that I love the character anymore, but I'm kind of glad I was half right thinking it was a cat mermaid. The design of it is quite nice. I don't mind the design of the character. And basically, Merli is... I just looked at fandom.com. This is an aside. I pulled up the wrong tab. I meant to pull up the tab with my notes. I pulled up the tab for fandom.com, and they described Merli as a cat mermaid. So maybe I was right. I don't know. Let me know if you saw it and thought it was a cat mermaid, or did you see the lion and the fish? I don't know. Either way, cute character. Don't necessarily love it, but it works well enough. And Merli is there to basically fight for both Tom and Jerry. Whenever Jerry does something that hurts Tom, Merli is there to make Tom feel better, but she's also stopping Tom retaliating and hurting Jerry, and it goes back and forth a little bit. And we do have quite a lot of variety in the things that Tom and Jerry are doing to each other. I do think that worked really, really well. But I feel like it's just lacking a little something that the previous cartoons in this series have. I don't quite know what that is. I think part of it is the appeal of the animation. The animation in this one's just maybe not quite as interesting as it has been in previous ones. As I said, there's a lot of variety, so there's a lot to look at, but nothing really stood out to me as being particularly striking. I think it's definitely driven by the character of Merli, and because I wasn't that bothered about the character, it meant that part didn't really stand out to me too much. So on the one hand, I can't fault it. There's nothing specifically bad about it, but comparing it to the earlier cartoons in this series, I don't think it's quite as good. But as I said, it taught me about the Merlion, so that's pretty good. I like that education. As I've mentioned, I think I've mentioned previously when discussing these, I like that each episode seems to give me a little bit of education. It tells me something about Singapore that I didn't know, and that's definitely a benefit, definitely something worth getting excited about. It's not a bad episode, it is okay. Compared to the others, it might not be as good, but Count on Merli is still pretty decent.